Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I'm Hyper G. I'm with Lucky Sixes.
What up, dog?
How are you?
Wolf-tastic, dog.
Yeah. MC Wolf over there. Just about see your microphone in the screen.
Yeah. I won't move it up.
No, do not move it up.
Gets you giggling like a little girl, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Every time I see it, I think of anyway. Great. So we've done we've done your round 3 at Scottish Championships, and let's do my round 3, which is
we'll move on very quickly from that.
Probably for the best. Which is a bottom of the table clash because I have lost 119.
Yeah, man. What's up with you?
I don't know. These opponents, man, they're just bullies. You know, bullies. I don't think they're anyone's important or anything. They're not all that good. They just bullied me. But anyway, so it is the continuation of the Dread Elf project in their first competitive environment. They're not looking great from 2 points out of 40. But this is an interesting matchup for many reasons. Drew up against Joe, who hadn't had a great start to the tournament either. I think he'd lost 0-20 in both of his. Obviously put us both near the bottom reaches of the table. And he is using his Makhar, or Makhar, as you like to call them.
Makhar.
Yeah, and interestingly, I played against Joe in a friendly game before the tournament. For those that remember, it didn't go very well for the Dread Elves. Unfortunately, Joe hasn't changed his list much. I haven't changed my list that much either, which could well mean that, yeah, it might go similarly. Let's see how lessons learned, etc., have changed things. So,
for the viewers that don't know how badly it went, what happened?
Oh, I can't remember the scoreline. Was it? It was Makhar's shooting, wasn't it? Was it 17-3 or 16-4 or something like that?
I think it was 17-3.
Yeah,
but
17,
it wasn't any better than that for sure.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, so I got smooshed basically. Everything got shot to death. Finally, I've gone ahead and changed this screen to show 5,000 points rather than 4,500, which is cool. Interestingly, it is Marching Columns and Spoils of War, much like your round 3, but that is the exact same deployment and objective that me and Joe played in our first round game as well. So the parallels are just racking up, aren't they?
But it's exactly what you wanted to see in the tournament at this point.
Exactly, reenact it exactly the way it happened last time. Obviously, I do have slightly more tools this time round. I have got 18 black cloaks, which I didn't have last time. So that may be a factor. This is my Dread Elves list. Obviously, you've seen it before because it's round 3 now.
Kuloth and Krasnar.
Yeah, I've paint edited them into the list. Does that look professional or what?
That's good.
Yeah, Kuloth and Krasnar, the 2 Krakens. Still going to get it wrong. Wicked. And yeah, Joe Parmenter has made a few changes to his list because obviously we played at 4,500. That is a difference. Now we're on 5,000. He has got an extra unit of horse archers. Oh dear. Slightly smaller than the other one, but it is more horse archers overall. He's got an extra Taltos, which is an extra wizard adept on Thaumaturgy. Which is fine. I'm not too fussed about that because it's all about his pyro magic, really. And any distraction from pyro, I think, actually works in my favour, if I'm honest. So I wasn't too displeased by that. Other than that, I think that's where he's used his 500 points. He's literally just added it on, really. So quite a similar list for Joe. And here we are with deployment. And man, that is a lot of Mahkar, I'm thinking.
A lot of horses, a lot of cav.
Yeah. Let's put us down in the bottom of the right.
Yeah, quite cool that you can get these like hordes of cav units.
Massively. I mean, because he can still fight an extra rank, being 8 wide. You know, line formation still works for cavalry, so that is just really
a big old size, isn't it?
Yes, it's quite brick. So going from the top with Joe's army, he's got 2 units of horse archers. It got his chariots. Behind, he's got the Thaumaturgy Wizard Adept on a horse. He's got his BSB in the forest, 2 giants with their bolt throwers. The big block of Makhar Lancers with the other Taltos, the Pyro Taltos, and his general. Then he's got his Wolfhounds, then the other unit of Lancers, which are actually armed with great weapons. So the big unit on the right has got great weapons, which is quite scary.
Yeah, man.
And then he's got his 2 Warrior Knight units, who are very much there to grab the objective. I thought. They don't have Lancers though, so they are only Strength 4. So that is worth noting. I scouted all of my Black Cloaks into that ruin because they can go in the ruin because obviously scouting within 12 inches within a terrain feature. So hoping to use that to my favour. I believe that I've got first turn, but I won't commit myself too much on that because if I haven't got first turn, it's a little bit of a weird deployment. I am basically thinking that my BSB legate on the left with the unit of militants is going to be grabbing that objective and then working her way in as she goes. My Judicators in the middle with my my wizard, my outcast with cosmology is basically just there to hit things and guard that middle one. The right one, I'm kind of thinking that's going to be hard to stop him getting, especially with those 2 warrior units.
Yeah.
And the great weapons probably destroy my Divine Altar very easily. So that unit of militants on the right is very much just to slow him down, stroke counter, I guess, see if I get an opportunity. But it's not ideal. I've got my 2 Krakens in the middle. They're basically staying away from his Great Weapon Lancers this time round. I got in a bit of a pickle in the last battle, if you remember, by having all my monsters near his Great Weapon, and I wasted them completely. So I've learnt from that at least.
How do you feel like your deployment was compared to last time?
I think it's a lot better. I mean, I think it's a lot better because I've got Black Cloaks. So that helps. I felt like this gave me more options, basically. Cool. Looking all right. He vanguards, and he sees the threat of the Black Cloaks, and very much moves his horse archers backwards. I fully expected him to do that. I still can get in range of one of them with some of my Black Cloaks, so I can still shoot one of them. He couldn't get both of them away, I don't think. That's his vanguard. And yes, it is my turn 1. So I move up my Black Cloaks to try and shoot that horse archer unit on the left, clear them one by one, basically. I don't really fear the counter charge too much. He has got his chariots, but they're quite a way away, I think.
Yeah,
it's quite a long charge. And the other chariots into the ruins. The chariots into the ruins isn't great for dangerous terrain as well. So I'm kind of holding back with those Black Cloaks. I move the militants with the BSB just on the edge of the ruins, so they're not taking DTs as they go forward. I'm not actually being in a rush to get the objective with them. I'm actually just planning on moving them as slow as it takes through the ruins. So, and just not taking DTs and keeping that unit intact with its points, really. I have my... one of the Krakens goes over to the right to help out a little bit, zoning. The Judicators go forward fairly aggressively because they're looking for a bit of fun, basically. And that's that. And well, I manage to get Quicksilver Lash on his BSB. The Alchemy Wizard, my one, is exactly 24 inches away. I think it's like 23.9 inches away, if that's the range of Quicksilver. And I put Quicksilver Lash on his BSB. And
did he let it go, or did he fail to dispel them?
He let it go. Because Quicksilver Lash is D3+1 hits, isn't it? And he had a 2-up armor or something, so I was wounding on 2s.
Any ages?
No. I think it was a 1-up armor.
He hasn't got any healing magic, has he?
Nope.
That's a very silly thing to do.
I was delighted when it was allowed through, and obviously a lot depends on the D3. But I rolled high on the D3 and obviously popped him. I think I rolled 2 on the D3, and I got 3 hits, and they all wounded. So killed him. So yeah. So that is massive for my turn 1, killing his BSB, because that's actually a Hawthorn Curse BSB, and that caused me a lot of problems shooting at me in the last battle. So he was always going to be my number 1 target. A 1-up armor save is nothing when you've got Quicksilver Lash. So that is the best target for Quicksilver. Very much delighted by that. Over here, I kill all but 1 Horse Archer, which is kind of annoying because it means that Horse Archer is still an annoyance. Not so much a threat, but it means I've got to waste a round of shooting to kill him. But it's still all right. Still kill 7.
At least he's not close enough to chaff though. So
exactly, and if he does chaff me, I just light troops around him, so it's not a problem. In his magic phase, just looking to see if he's done a lot. Can't see. I mean, with Pyro, you kind of expect half a unit to be deleted, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know. This might be his movement and start of magic, to be fair. So we'll bide our time on the magic. But movement-wise, he gets his horse archers behind the building, very much retreating from the Black Cloaks, which is awesome. I mean, how cool is that? Black Cloaks are making him flee. That's his shooting, running away from my shooting, which is great, because shooting is what hurts me. So he's moved up aggressively on the right side, very much what I was expecting. So he knows he can get that objective, and my unit of militants is not going to hold against those 3. His nomadic giants move forward ever so slightly to be in range with their bolt thrower shots. And his chariots also declined the charge on the Black Cloaks in favour of moving backwards. So
moving away.
Delighted again, because that's another unit that can shoot. I think they've got like 9 shots on them. So moving them all the way back, I've really made him think twice about his shooty army, which is it's just brilliant for me, really. This, I think, is shooting rather than magic. So maybe magic didn't go that well for him. Because I think this is the nomadic giants killing a few militants and a judicator. So I'll take that.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, well, maybe that was magic and shooting, actually, because we've got a few more judicators going down here. But either way, losing
Still not the worst in the world.
No, I mean, enveloping embers can delete a whole unit of Dread Elves. So, we'll take this. Go straight into my turn 2 movement, and I move my Black Cloaks all the way round those Horse Archers. I can't quite get near enough to shoot the other Horse Archers yet. So it's just a progress up the left flank, really. And obviously I'll use that opportunity to kill the last Horse Archer as well, so that he's gone. The militants in the left just move up in the ruins, so they're not taking DTs. Very much steady as she goes kind of thing. But I did move my Temple Legate out into the middle unit. So basically how it works is you can't have more than 1 Temple Legate in a unit of militants. So the Alchemy one moves into the Judicators after they've finished moving. And then the Divination one moves into the middle militants. So I've literally just moved them on one at a time, really.
Like a relay race.
Exactly, yeah. They're just passing the baton.
Tag.
Move the Kraken forward, because I'm not actually too fussed about giants charging the Kraken, because I reckon I can multiple wound kill them in one go. So moving that forward. The other Kraken you can't really see, Krasnar, in the forest. He's hiding. I did make it very clear that that's where he was, so that Joe wasn't like completely didn't see him.
Very good.
It's very camouflaged, isn't it? Yeah, in that forest. Yes, and my militants on the right are very much just like, I think I'm moving sideways, but it's slow, and I know that at some point that's going to go down. Judicator's still threatening the middle. I do not want his Lancer unit from charging me, though. And it's still fair distance, so... I think the Judicators can do a job on that unit of cavalry, but, you know...
Do you go first?
I think I do. I think I'm agility 5, and he's only 4 on the charge.
Okay.
So, that is a factor. Definitely.
I remember when I played him, the Lord in that unit was pretty good, pretty killing.
Yeah, he is pretty killing. Yeah, definitely. Got a fair few attacks, and he's got blessing. What's the weapon? Blessed inscriptions. And stuff like that. Not that you need much help in wounding Red Elves, but you know. Cool. So that's movement wise. Oh yes, and this is cool.
Whoa!
I get a Fate's Judgment from that divination wizard on the left on the giant. Do 6 wounds, 6 hits, roll a 6 from our Fate's Judgment.
Boom.
And yeah, just take 6 wounds. Joe let that go again.
Divination versus... Oh, blimey. I suppose it is... What was the other one you got? An Erring Strike.
No, I didn't have an Erring Strike because he's not a master. So
yeah.
It's the other ranged threat is Quicksilver and Fire, Ice and Fire. Fire and Ice, whatever it is, whichever way around.
Oh well, he's well silly then.
I was delighted. I mean, any chance to roll a d6, there's always a chance you can get a 5 or 6, and this time I got 6. So that is 2 ranged spells that have done maximum damage, pretty much.
Awesome, man.
So that nomadic giant it is very angry. Literally 1 wound left. So if it does manage to get into anything, it's going to cause some hurt. It'll have 11 attacks.
Yeah,
which is a bit crazy.
That's nice.
Don't think there's much other magic-wise. Obviously, I have no shooting. No, I do have shooting. I killed the horse archer, actually. That's wrong. That's my old list saying no shooting. Warrior Knights did something quite surprising. I wasn't expecting this at all. He declares a charge with both on my militants. I really thought they were just there to get the objective and maybe flank. And going
into the front with an altar.
Going into the front with an altar that reduces his res to res 3. I am only AP 1 because of the rending banner. And he's
so you've got rents and a banner. And...
he's only strength 4 as well. So he is only wounding on 3s. And he's only got 1 attack on each of the knights. So,
and not all of them are going to get in, are they?
No, not all 10 are getting in either. And my militants, they might only be AP 1, but they're going to hit and wound a lot. So,
what armor saves is he?
I think he's 2 up, or maybe 1 up. Is he 1 up or 2 up? I can't remember. They're warrior knights, so they're not chosen knights, they're not going to be worse than 2 up. Put it that way. But
but are they going to be electoral cav 1 up? Are they going to? I don't think so. Are they?
No, possibly not. Yeah, but
odd choice, fair play. We'll see how that goes.
He gets them both in, to be fair. So they both managed to get in, and that's how he ends up. And he moves the Lancers, the Great Weapon Lancers, to get the objective. I didn't see that coming. I thought it would be the Lancers going aggro. And
considering you couldn't really take them on.
No, not really. Not really.
Fair play.
Yeah. Movement-wise, he continues his retreat, which I am absolutely loving. Absolutely loving. His chariots have gone right behind his other unit of cavalry. They are no threat to me whatsoever. The horse archers, similarly, don't want anything to do with my black cloaks, which is amazing. So yeah,
they probably do lose that fight, lose that shootout.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how much a horse archer unit can do with its shooting when it moves in range. It can move in range, shoot, and if it can kill a unit and panic another, then obviously that's a problem.
But you are like -1 though, so
yeah.
I don't know,
So yeah, there's that. Shooting wise, this would be magic. He opens up on the harpies. He's tall, so he can see them. He kills all but 1 of the harpies, which is absolutely fine. Obviously, he's using the new pyro attribute, which isn't quite as bad for harpies. Obviously, D3 on a blaze is a lot worse. So there's that. Kills. Oh, okay. So what we got? We got 2 Judicators dying. I think that must be to shooting. Kind of combine the shooting and the combat phase. And is this after combat? Has he only done 2 wounds to my militants? Might have to see the next picture before we conclude that.
Oh, drum roll, please.
Oh no, we're not going to get there yet.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, okay, no, yeah, don't go back. Oh, that wasn't Scorching Salvo. I get Harpy back because Joe does something not quite right, and I get 1 Harpy back.
Okay.
I can't really remember the details of that,
but
it doesn't change it massively.
No, so having 1 or 2,
yeah,
they're going to die anyway.
yeah. And this is the combat, and
all right.
Yes, so I lose a fair few militants. I lose 8. I mean, that's to be relatively expected. He's going to be hitting me on 3s, wounding me on 3s, I think. Decent. Obviously, I haven't got any armor against it. But yeah, I kill a unit. And
Do his forces add +1 strength on the charge?
I don't think so.
So they're just strength 3 horses. Because obviously, if he's only got 1 each, he only had like 7 attacks. So to do 8 is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is the.
So do you kill 1 unit or do you kill?
No, I kill 1 unit. Kill 1 unit outright, and he reforms to be all in, which is quite ballsy, really, because of how it's already gone. But he hasn't got lances, so it's not like he's any worse off the next turn. It's just a repeat, really. Obviously now Krasnar comes out of hiding and charges the flank of those knights, which I think is awesome because I'm strength 7 AP 4, so if I can totally smash through those knights with the Kraken.
Oh yeah, it was smashed in.
In terms of everything else, I choose now is the time to move my Harpies forward because they're obviously being targeted by Pyro Magic. So now's the time to chaff, basically. And I chaff the big unit in the middle. I was quite really happy with that chaff, actually, because it moves him away from the Judicators. And he's in my front still, so he'd have to charge the front. And I'm not... I mean... I suppose I'd have to close the door to him. So I don't massively know how that would have worked out. Might be giving a spoiler away about what he does there. But either way, I've got free reign to move up my Black Cloaks and my Kraken. I'm not worried about that giant that's only got 1 wound left. I'm not really worried about the giant that's got 7 wounds left, to be honest, with the Kraken. But I want to shoot off that last giant with my Black Cloaks rather than having to use magic on it.
Yeah.
The militants on the left have now finally moved on to the objective, so they'll claim it in turn 4. The militants in the middle of that 3 are just moving forward. I feel like I'm doing quite a lot of damage to him from range, believe it or not. So I'm not actually in a massive rush to get my combat units into there. So all looking okay. And then magic happens again.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
So I felt for Joe here because first spell, I'm not hiding it. First spell is Fate's Judgment. In my first turn, he let Quicksilver Lash go, risking me rolling well. I rolled well. In my second turn, he let Fate's Judgment go, risking I rolled well. And I rolled well.
Very well.
In third turn, I cast Fate's Judgment. He lets it go, hoping I can't possibly do the hat trick. Admittedly, I only rolled 5 hits for Fate's Judgment. I mean, come on, man. Give me something. But yeah, 3 magic spells.
What was he stopping? What was he stopping ahead of those spells?
Ice and Fire, maybe. There's not really many combat. I suppose combat buffs, maybe. But I get was it Stars? Is it Stars Align? No, it's Know Thine Enemy on the militants in combat with the warrior knights as well. So
Pretty good phase.
A really good phase. I don't know what he stopped, but yeah.
Oh, nicely done. Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
Absolutely. So yeah, really happy about that, obviously. This was weird and frustrating. My Kraken whiffs completely. And my militants, despite killing 5 the first time round, now only kill 2. Somehow he manages to save his armor this time. I know he rolled really badly on his armor the first time round, so 2 up probably went to 3 up. And he rolled a lot of 1s and 2s, but yeah, this isn't actually great for the Kraken because I have still got that Great Weapon Lancer unit right there.
Yeah.
So the fact that I haven't actually gone through that Warrior Knight, I mean, I'm not sure what I would have done with the overrun anyway. Probably just turned and faced and taken the charge, but
sure.
Getting the flank charge, not great. So we'll see how that pans out. He does indeed take it. He's got to. That's,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's great. He picks up the objective, of course. Over here, he actually goes a bit more aggressive and moves his horse archers forwards and his thaumaturgy wizard. He's planning a breath weapon, I believe.
Where are your cloaks?
Is this showing that he's killed one?
Is this a planning the breath weapon or using it?
This may be using it, might it? We'll see when we get an overall. Because they... Okay, well, both his giants are now gone as well. Hang on. Something's happened here.
Let's go back.
This is his turn. Let's go... Hang on. Right. I must have killed his giants.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, this is it. I've got it. It gets bad to worse for Joe because my Black Cloak unit in front of the Kraken shoot off the last wound on the giant, and his other giant panics and flees off the board because it's closest enemy. So that is how harpies, man. Come on, we're not beasts here.
Fair enough.
That is how the giants go down. And yes, I had 2 units of Black Cloaks near that building. He, very much like I said, his horse archers can do a number on the Black Cloaks. If they move up and shoot. And very much they do move up and shoot.
Right.
So the horse archers shoot off 1 unit of Black Cloaks. In fact, this is exactly what happens. It'll all come back to me now. He gets the breath weapon on his thaumaturgy wizard. He kills all of that unit of Black Cloaks with the breath weapon.
Right.
Which is quite good. Did 6 wounds, basically.
Yeah.
I think it was like strength 3 or 4, and it just rolled well, which is fine because Joe was probably due a bit of luck there. And funnily enough, he moved the horse archers up to shoot the other unit of Black Cloaks, but it didn't matter because they failed their panic and fled off the board. So his horse archers didn't actually shoot because there was nothing to shoot.
But they were prepared. They were ready.
They were ready to go for it, yeah. His chariots shoot 2 of my other Black Cloaks. So all of a sudden, I've gone from 18 Black Cloaks to 4.
Yeah.
So that's quite good for his shooting. It shows what can happen if...
Not a bad round, yeah.
And why I was so pleased that he'd moved his shooting back for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. What range is his shooting on them?
24 inches on both.
Yeah, just look like bows, right?
Yeah, just normal bows, yeah. I mean, obviously I'm skirmisher, but...
Yeah. And long range. Is he accurate?
No, but he gets a +1 to hit in short range. So he could have come right at me and mitigated the skirmisher. But...
Yeah, funny.
So, what happens here?
He kills your Kraken.
Kills the Kraken.
You kill his unit of warrior knights and 4 great weapons.
Yes.
For 2 in return? No, for none in return.
So, yeah. The order of events is you have to get it in initiative or in agility order. I kill his warrior knights, the 3 of them, with my militants. So that's great. And I managed to do 4 kills with my Kraken on the Lancers, because his Lancers are great weapons, so they're last.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good, yeah. And my Kraken dies to the Lancers, which you would expect.
How many wounds does Kraken have? 5?
5, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And no armor to that kind of pummeling. But obviously, because my Kraken is a separate unit to my militants, he doesn't overrun. He just goes out of combat for killing the Kraken.
Okay, and he didn't want to overrun?
He couldn't, because they're separate combats.
Oh, you mean in this phase? But then
in this phase, yeah. This is going into my turn next. He charged it. This is his turn.
Yeah.
So he comes out of combat because the Kraken's dead. He doesn't move up to charge a different unit.
But he could have overrun at the end, couldn't he?
No, because he's out of combat.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I thought because you go against something, whatever you've charged, you dies because of it. I mean, you still have got the charge into the flank, so I don't think it genuinely matters.
But when I did that against Amit, my Kraken killed his unit of Dread Elf Spears and didn't overrun into the second unit of Dread Elf Spears because my Kraken was out of combat. So it's the same theory here.
Was that the turn that it charged?
Yes, it wasn't allowed to overrun.
Don't know then. Ask the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it goes back to the battle with Amit. So it was exactly the same principle. Like in that battle, my Kraken charged into the Dread Elf Spears, killed them, and wasn't able to overrun.
Okay.
I think.
No, that's probably right then.
Yeah. Okay. Making me doubt myself.
Yeah. I'm rubbish with rules at the minute.
Anyway,
the Kraken's dead though, right?
The Kraken is dead. I think it was so camouflaged that I forgot that I hadn't removed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so basically, I charged these guys. Obviously, Joe knows that he doesn't want Adjudicator charging the flank. Even if the Lancers had overrun into the militants, the Adjudicator still would have been able to see them because they were so deep. So that flank charge was coming anyway. The difference between not being in combat and being in combat, the only difference is that he can declare a reaction.
Yeah.
So in some ways, being out of combat gives him an extra choice. Whereas if he was in combat, he would have had to have just taken the flank charge.
Yeah, exactly.
And been destroyed utterly.
As a great weapon unit, you don't get much for charging. It's not like his lance.
Exactly. Obviously, the one thing that goes slightly wrong for Joe here, again, is he rolls a 111 on his flee distance.
Oh, wow.
Because, I mean, it wasn't a great flee anyway, because I was right on top of him. But yeah. And so I just eliminate that whole unit of Lancers. Yeah, I mean, that confusion over the whole overrun with the Kraken and everything, I'm not sure it changes much. No, except for the fact that my Adjudicators are still in the middle, as opposed to on the right flank, having killed them. But I don't think it changes.
But that would have been better for you.
Yeah, exactly, because I've got 2 objectives anyway. I don't really need that centre one. I don't know whether I've claimed that middle one or not yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. How I would have, if I might well be wrong, how I would have said it is because, like, you would have obviously been on your second turn, so all you can do from being out is swivel.
I'm wondering, would this be a factor? If I won the combat, because I definitely did more wounds than he did. Yeah, he only did 5 wounds to the Kraken. Flank, rank, maybe a standard.
Well, he wouldn't have had a flank because you were out of combat.
And he wouldn't have had a charge.
So,
he wouldn't have had anything from the Lancers, though, would he? He wouldn't have had a rank or a charge or a standard or a flank. So I would have won combat, wouldn't I?
No, he would have had. He would have had a charge and a rank, I think. But he wouldn't add rank. He wouldn't add ranks because he's 8 wide. So he would have had a standard, and so he would have lost.
So would that have affected whether he can overrun?
Don't know. That's another thing. There's loads of things for this. Cool. But how I would have said it, because he killed what he charged, he is then free to overrun.
Yeah, it's just that at the time, the Kraken was in the combat with something else. Yeah. So it was all one combat res.
Yeah. And I don't know whether you would be able to reform first as well. I don't know what order you would do that in.
Yeah, exactly, because my unit was on the winning side. His unit lost.
But your unit has killed what you're in, and so neither of you have anything to pursue.
No.
But you are one combat, so I don't know whether because you won that negates him being able to move, or whether you would be able to reform and him overrun, or what order you would do that in.
I have no idea how this should have been played. I hope that this is relatively right.
Yeah,
even if it's slightly wrong.
So he has the choice of staying there or overrunning in whatever scenario. If he overruns, you've still got a flank charge because of his unit boundary.
Yeah, exactly.
So all that happens is that he has a charge. You then have a charge, a flank, a big flank, but no ranks.
Oh, the Judicators smash them up in the flank.
Yeah. So you would beat them and be a little bit further over.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change the fact that they die. I think the fact that he's now out of combat and gets to flee and doesn't roll a 111.
That is the thing. If he gets away, then he's saved like 500 points.
Yeah, right. So I think But I don't know what order or what happens with both of you coming out of combat.
No, I don't either. And I don't think the Amit situation actually applies, because I think in that situation the Dread Elf spears both fled. Even the one that the Kraken wasn't in combat with. So I think, anyway, we won't worry about that too much. But this is a whole different situation. So yeah, this is definitely one for the comments. But hopefully what we played, which was the Makhar Lancers did not overrun, is relatively right and doesn't change the outcome too much. I thought I was definitely right at the time. Joe didn't disagree either. So it wasn't like we had a massive conversation about it. So yeah. Right, where were we? So yes, this is after my charge phase. He hadn't charged the Harpies in his turn 3 either, which I was delighted with because it meant I could just chaff him again, which is awesome. So my Harpies are still chaffing his main unit in the middle.
Yeah, that's
and
really good.
It means my Kraken can literally just march forward and come for his chariots or threaten the flank of his unit, which is great. And start potentially doing multiple wounds D3 on his character, which is on that right flank, which is awesome. The unit is almost out of the ruins on the left flank, but to be honest, I'm not massively needing them. Sounds really arrogant, but that unit that's taking its time in claiming the objective and moving up, I probably should have taken a few dangerous terrains and just gone with it at this point. But in the ruins, but they were okay. They were happy.
Yeah. Don't need to do anything there.
And the Black Cloaks just moved to try and shoot the Taltos, the Thaumaturgy wizard.
Yeah.
So I think that is. Oh, magic-wise, I don't think I get a lot off. I got the Hereditary on the Horse Archers, so that any shooting they did, they took hits on themselves.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting one. I can't say I'm massively enthralled with the
Did
Hereditary.
He stop Fate's Judgment this time?
I think. Well, there's not many targets for Fate's Judgment now. It's killed it all. But crazy, the 4 Black Cloaks, 4 killed the Taltos.
Yeah.
And panicked the Horse Archers. So
it's nice when a plan comes together.
Oh, massively. Joe probably wanted to cry at this point. I wouldn't have blamed him if he did. 4 Black Cloaks clear that whole flank, basically.
Nice.
So, yeah. Is this his... Obviously, he's running out of units somewhat.
Yeah, man.
Can't tell whether this much has changed. Oh, this is... No,
The
probably...
thing with him now, he might not even want to clear that chaff.
No, exactly. It's kind of...
Keep moving back.
Yeah. He does indeed move back. He doesn't want to clear the chaff away from the Judicators or the Kraken. He moves the Makhar chariots into the flank of the Kraken just to take a few shots at him. But yeah, it's not looking great for Joe. Obviously, he's got Pyro now. Tries his best to Pyro some Judicators away. So, I mean, the Judicators aren't looking very healthy. They have taken a bit of a pummeling over the course of, this is 5 turns now. 4 turns, rather. And he does a wound on the Kraken as well. I have got the objectives pretty much locked up.
Yeah.
So there's that. I move my Outcast into the Militants because she doesn't need to be in the Judicators. It does mean I've got less magic resistance on the Judicators, but I'm prepared to accept that he's going to do damage with Pyro. It's always the way. Yeah. But I've come to the conclusion now that I actually don't need to fight his general or his main unit, especially if my Harpies can just keep them at bay. I'm basically just planning to get them the chariot points if I can and go home with the objective, really. So I moved my Kraken out of line of sight of his main unit. Not that that worried me because of the Harpies being there. Well, I suppose his characters could have charged out of the Kraken, but that wouldn't have been overly wise. Unless they killed it on the charge, which they possibly could have done. And my Kraken is able to see the chariots. Black Cloaks are going home from a job well done, the 2 that are left.
Yeah. Holding each other's hand.
Yeah, skipping through the ruins. Magic-wise, I get 1 wound on the chariots. So I think that was an ice and fire, but didn't do a lot. He moved his chariots around the building to take on the militants on the left, which I thought was a bit ballsy, really. I do need a decent charge on my turn 6 to get into them, and obviously if I fail that, then he countercharges me. But I don't think he can kill enough to take their points out. I could be wrong. I mean,
it'd been better for going for the Judicators, really, at this point.
Yeah, possibly. And this is magic as well. He's killed 3 Judicators with his magic. Shooting kills 4 militants to knock them down a bit.
Yeah.
And I charge turn 6 and get in. And that is all she wrote for that chariot unit, 100%. I actually failed the charge with the Kraken. He had a really long charge. Yeah, 4 on the Thunder Shoot. So there's that. And yeah, I have no need to challenge that Mahkar unit in the middle. I'm more than happy just sitting on my objectives, and he'll have a last turn to Pyro me a bit. I get I get a spell on the militants, and the chariots are gone. Nothing unconvincing about that. And he does a few more wounds with Pyro, much like I say. He does get half points on that militants unit on the right. But there's enough of them to hold on to the objective. Not that I needed all 3, of course. I think he possibly gets half points on the Judicators. Not sure. Maybe 1 off that.
Yeah.
But it's a very convincing win for the Dread Elves, really. And
it works, son.
Gets me a 19-1. Beautiful. I was really happy with how that went. A lot of the times, dice favoured me because of Fate's Judgment twice. Did 11 wounds in 2 casts. And obviously Quicksilver killing his BSB right off the top. The unfortunate thing for Joe was he let all 3 go. He had dice, he let all 3 go.
Fate's Judgment, you can do an argument for. I'm not sure about Quicklash when you haven't got an Aegis.
Yeah.
Not sure about that decision.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it is unlucky to get 6 and 5.
Yeah. I mean, a few panic tests as well. Joe failed throughout the course of the battle, but that's obviously not helped by the fact his BSB is dead turn 1.
Yeah, exactly.
My turn 1, top of the first. His BSB has literally done nothing because it's dead. So a complete turnaround for my Dread Elves against Joe's Mahkar, and I'd like to say it's because of lessons learnt. There's also the Black Cloak factor, which very much held back his entire shooting phase. On top of the magic that went crazy. You can see how much damage Pyro can do because it has literally taken out 2 combat units. That weird thing in the combat with the Kraken and the overrun and everything, I don't think it changed the result, whatever was the right way, but I would be very keen
you are helped out by the Kraken not getting rid of the Warrior Knights on your turn.
Yeah, exactly,
You would have then got overrun and stuff.
Yeah. And they could have gone through both units, and possibly made it so the adjudicators couldn't countercharge them.
Yeah.
So
I would like to know what order and what the
how
hell
on
happened.
earth that should have happened. Like I say, me and Joe didn't at all argue about how it panned out, and I don't think it changes too many things. Bearing in mind he gets a 1/1 for his flea, which sucks.
Yeah.
Very much sucks. Anyway, I'm delighted with that. It puts me on a massive 21 points out of 60. So very much not in the upper reaches of the tournament, but it's a recovery, and I'm very pleased with that.
The submarine.
The submarine. Yeah, a little bit late for a submarine, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so that's my round 3. We're in a similar place in the table. I'm not sure how many points you've got, but...
I think I'm on 20...
28? Something like that?
Maybe a bit less, maybe like 24.
Okay.
Like 16 and an 8.
Okay. Slightly ahead of me.
24, 25. So we're very close, but not
close enough.
Close enough yet.
Spoiler alert, not a round floor clash. Round 4 clash. Not yet. So yeah, we'll go into your...
That means you get 2 battle reports rather than 1.
Exactly. So... Yes, that is true. Or we should just do the same battle report, just from other perspectives.
From different perspectives.
Sweet, cool. We'll call it there. I hope you like, share, and subscribe, and like this video, and let us know your thoughts on it all. Great.
Yeah, man.
See you for the next one.
See you later.